Welcome to the Unstoppable Real Estate Agents Podcast. I'm your host and real estate productivity expert, Kim Hughes. Join me as we focus on real strategies and implement real solutions designed for you to achieve major success in your business and life while getting you organized. Hi everybody, it's Kim Hughes, and today we are going to complete the January goal setting roadmap for success. So today we're going to talk about your systems. This is the lifeline of your business. This will be, the more organized you are with your systems, the more successful you will be. That is just the way it is in the world. Whether it's your personal life or your business life, you have to have a system. So let's just talk about going from daily to weekly to quarterly and then to a yearly system. So when you're looking at all of your systems, we call them SOPs, we call them processes, action plans, checklists, etc. But the way that I would recommend that when you're starting out creating systems in your business is to have a written format, like in a Word document would work, or in an Excel spreadsheet, depending on how your brain processes information. And then I would recommend that you would do something like Loom. A Loom is Loom, and it's a little free app that will record what you're doing. So if you are on your computer and you want to record how to add a listing to your website, for example, then you would do a recording of it and show them your desktop on how to do it so they have a visual. But then you might also have that transcribed and then clean it up so that you have a written process and put it in your policy and procedure manual. Every agent should have a policy and procedure manual. That's the first step into having successful systems. That does not mean it's your franchise policy and procedure manual. This is your policy and procedure manual. Whether you're a single agent, a team, a brokerage, everybody should have their systems and their processes in a manual so that they can refer to it, as well as the videos that you can refer to on your laptop in Dropbox and Google Drive, wherever you keep your online files. Now, the reason why I say this is because everybody thinks and learns differently. So when you have it typed out or whether you have it videotaped is going to be a way that I would look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to do that visual, but then I also want it in written so I can look at it as I'm doing it. So keep that in mind. It might take about 5 more minutes to do it in a Loom, but that's okay. It's going to be worth every penny of it. So go ahead and start writing down what systems you currently have and what systems you don't have that you need to make a system for. Now, a daily system could be whatever that is for you. If you're that person that needs to know every minute of your day, where is that and how to track it, then I would say, okay, you've got to start with what time do you get up? What do you do before you leave the house? Do you get kids ready for school? Do you take the dog for a walk? Do you have just your prayer time, your husband or your spouse time? What do you do before you leave for the day to be productive? So that's the first part, so if you're that detailed then and you need to write that down, write it down and follow that schedule. Then once you get into work mode, what we want to do is, what do you do daily? So you should check your email maybe 2 or 3 times a day. You should check your social media once a day. You should, check the MLS if you are that person that wants to know what's been on the market today, because you might have a buyer and you want to stay involved in communication with all of your pending clients or active clients. Then you need to get on that get on the MLS and see what's new today. If you're one that works expired listings and you don't have an outside program helping you, the MLS will help you figure that out. So whatever your day is, whether you make 10 phone calls, you go to lunch, you take somebody to coffee, what do you do every day? Then what is that system to make that action happen? So when you look at that and you say, you know what, I have a listing appointment on Friday that I need to get prepared for. So what you want to do is, as you're preparing for that meeting, you want to write it down so you know what you do in every little detail. I do a CMA. I will print out my listing presentation. I need to send them my pre-listing presentation. I need to confirm the time. I need to have them answer the questions in your pre-listing package so that you have that before you go on the appointment. So you've got to make a list of everything you're going to do prior to that appointment. If you're that person that's going to go door knocking, what are you going to do to prepare for the door knocking? You're going to make sure you have plenty of hangers. You're going to have plenty of postcards or letters, whatever it is that you're going to hand out. And you're going to have a script for when somebody is home and you can talk to them. So these are the things that you have to do to prepare for for that particular action. If you are going to your sales meeting, okay, what do you need to do to prepare for that sales meeting? If you are going to send out birthday cards for the month of February, then you need to sit down and say, okay, the 25th of the month, I need to sit down and write out birthdays for the upcoming month and home anniversaries. And then sit down and write them out, get them ready, put them in an envelope, address them, put your stamp on it, and put your business cards in that envelope and get them ready to go so that you can get them in the mail 5 days prior to their birthday, to their home anniversary. You want to check social media to see if anything's coming up with any of your past clients, right? So when I talk about a system, I'm talking about not just taking a listing or going under contract. I'm talking about look at every aspect of your business and write a procedure. For example, if you have a new lead, then they should be able to fill out a form with the information that you need. And then you take that information, you put it in your CRM system, you put it on your tickler or your calendar to remind you to follow up. You take them and put them on your newsletter, whatever else, their drip campaign, whatever else that you're going to do with them. So there's certain things that need to happen in order for that action to be an action, right? So then when we look at that, on a daily, what do you do daily? Okay, weekly, this is what I have to do on a weekly basis. And you might even break it down to what you do on the business side and what you do on the personal side, and then how they two come together. Because you sure don't want to schedule a listing appointment at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon when you've got to be in the car line picking up the kids. So make sure that you schedule everything around the personal and the business. And that can get a little tricky, right? One thing that I did when my children were growing up was every Sunday I sat down and I wrote out my menu plan for the week. I wrote down on the back of that menu plan for the week the groceries that I needed to buy to make those meals. And then I would go to the grocery store, get what I need, get everything prepped. I didn't cook on Sunday. I just got everything prepped. And so if I needed to cut onions or if I needed to make a salad or, whatever that is. And then I had everything ready. So when I came home, all I had to do was to pull it out of the refrigerator, throw it in a pan and cook it. Now, some people like to make the meals. Do what works for you, okay? There's no right or wrong way to do any type of a system as long as you do it correctly. So think about not only what you have to do to create that system, but where are you going to keep it. So this could be whether you use Dropbox, you use Google Drive. I'm one of those people that says don't use both. There's really no reason to. Pick one and use it. If you use Dropbox, then create a personal, create a business folder. And then everything goes into that folder for that particular area of your life. If you're planning a Christmas party, create a folder for the Christmas party, put your checklist in there, and put everything else in there that you need to do, and then put it on your calendar of when you need to start working on it. So then I want you to, after you write down everything that you have to do on a daily, a weekly, monthly, then look at your quarter. What do you have to do every quarter to make that year happen? Okay. So if you say, I'm going to make 25 phone calls today, who are you going to call and what are you going to say to them? Who's your audience that you're reaching out to, right? You should have lunch with business associates and your past clients. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? How are you going to invite them? So all these things have to be written down, and then you have to go over to your calendar and cross it off. So the reason why I'm doing so much detail in this is because I want to get you to start thinking about how you can be more productive with the time that you have. And when you have a system, that system will allow you to have that extra time that you're looking for. Okay? Be very diligent in your time and be very selfish with your business time. So there's nothing wrong with, saying, well, I can only allow 2 hours to have lunch with a business associate. That's a little long, but you get what I'm saying. So you make sure, okay, I'm having lunch from 1 to 3 with Tom at, Kitchen's restaurant. Then make yourself understand, I've got 1 hour to have lunch with this guy and build a relationship. And then I've got to move on to my next strategy. So once you have done that, and then at the end of the day, you need to go back and look at what did I not complete that I need to complete before I call it a day. And you go down your checklist and you go and you look at your all the things that need to be done. And if you got them all off, check those boxes and be proud of yourself, pat yourself on the back. But if you have 1 or 2 things that still need to be taken care of, then take care of it. If you can. And some things you can't, so you have to move it to the next day. But when you move it to the next day, just remember, I moved it. So that means I've got to take care of it. And what I do is anything that I move to the next day, I make that the first thing I do that following morning. And that is a great strategy that we teach our clients, is make sure that you don't get yourself bogged down with too many tasks, because you're going to need help. At some point, you're going to have help. Depending on what your goal is, that's the kind of help you're going to need. So when you look at your systems and you're thinking, I can't do that. I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to begin. Well, this is an area that we can help you with. So we work with agents all day long, every week, every month, every year for the past 23 years. So we know how to help you put those systems in place. But you also can sit down with your team leader, your brokerage, and ask them for some guidance in that area. And if you don't have any way to get that information, then just reach out to us and we'll be happy to schedule a call and go over some tips with you to get that going in the right direction. But the first thing that I really want you to see is, what do you need to do every day, every week, every month, every quarter, and then at the end of the year, what do you need to do? And then there's going to be things that you only do once a year or once a quarter, so keep that in mind. So for example, one of the things that we really talk to our agents about is bookkeeping, keeping your books straight. So making sure that you have a business card and a personal card, and anything for your business goes on your business card, obviously. But then at the end of that month, when you get your statement, you need to set aside about 10 minutes and go through your statement, make sure everything looks right, everything is added accordingly, and then put in the file so that every month you do this, the more organized you will be at the end of the year to take everything to your accountant and let them do your taxes. And then you're no longer late and having to file extensions because you haven't put the time aside. Because if you don't do this monthly, it will catch up, and then at the end of the year, you're going to be spending hours and frustrated that you have to do this. So make that a part of your monthly system, is to go over your bookkeeping. Whether you do it or you have someone do it, you should go over it every month and make sure that you look at what is being charged. Was it charged appropriately? If you see any suspicious activity, then you can take care of it immediately. If you see, oh, you know what, I've been paying for this program for the past 10 years, I don't use it, I need to cancel it, then get on the phone and cancel it. And then look at yourself of getting a raise, whether it's $10 a month or $50 a month. If you don't use it, cancel it. You can always go back to it if you decide to. Okay? So these are just some of the tips that I hope that have helped you today to get your 2023 year ready to go in the right direction in a positive way, and also build the momentum and the excitement. So this is going to conclude the 4-week series that we have on goal setting. And as you know, we do have the roadmap that's free for you to download and to follow. And then I would love to hear from you on how you are doing with all 4 areas, but especially with your systems. I would love to see what you're doing to move that needle forward to help you get more organized, because I think that when you realize systems are a huge part of your business and you start putting that in place, and when you might want to look at it that you may be doing everything yourself now, but as you build your SOPs and then you get to a place where you're ready to hire somebody, or you need somebody to come in and help you with anything, all they have to do is pull up your Loom video and pull up your typed out SOP and follow directions. You know, it's very easy to do that. So please make this an important part of your goal setting for the year, is to get your systems and your processes in place. And I cannot tell you how much I've enjoyed sharing with y'all these little goal setting things that we have put together. These are the things that we see our clients struggling with, and this is where we can help. So hopefully this is an area that has triggered you to do better this year than maybe you did last year. And then the last thing I'm going to say is, please go back and listen to all the podcasts that we have put out so far. Each one is going to help you better yourself in your business. And then if there's something that you need help with, just let us know. We'll do a podcast on it. We love to get suggestions. And then starting in February, we will start having guest speakers. So be prepared for that. Be on the lookout for an email, a social media post of some of the guests that we have coming up, because we're very excited about that. And if there's anything we can do for you, just reach out and let us know, and you go out and have a great day and use your time very wisely. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone, and I bet you do, who would appreciate this podcast, please share it with them. As a reminder, this podcast can be delivered directly to your favorite device by using the subscribe links you can find in the show notes below, or over at unstoppablerealestateagents.com. Remember, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Have a great day.